Hello and welcome to the Supercast. I'm your host, Superintendent Anthony Godfrey. It was a project that was made for Black History Month at Herriman High School, and it had a musical twist. On this episode of the Supercast, we introduce you to some members of the Black Student Union who organized an amazing display celebrating the accomplishments of iconic black musicians dating back to the 1960s. Join us as we travel back in time, getting to know the talented artists and music that made history, as well as some recent recommendations. I'm here with 5 of the students that are part of the Black Student Union here at Herriman High School. Why don't you introduce yourselves and tell a little bit about yourself?
Hello, my name is Efrain Villamatos. I normally go by Effie. I have been a member of this club since its inception, and I am a musician and a student at Herriman High School.
My name is Trace Pounds. I'm the president of the BSU. A little bit about myself is I'm an athlete. I do track and basketball and also like doing art and stuff.
My name is Nigel Fees. I do track with the president, and I'm also part of the social media team for the BSU.
Hi, I'm Elsie Reese. I'm the secretary of BSU, and I play the cello.
Hi, my name is Ariel. I am a musician and an athlete. I'm part of BSU.
Okay, you're all obviously very involved in a number of things at school. Tell me about BSU, what it means to you, how it started, all of that.
Sure. When I feel like all of us has been friends ever since we kind of came to this school, and so when Ms. Codella kind of approached us to start a Black Student Union, it was something pretty inspiring to us because obviously being just not white in Herriman High School, we are kind of different. So having that safe space for us to just be able to hang out with our friends was incredible. I mean, us just being able to be ourselves together was really important to our tenure at this school. And so to me, this is something very important and something I love being a part of.
Yeah, that's the same thing for me, where just having that safe space is just really useful. And you can meet new friends, you can talk to people, and you can feel safe rather than you kind of just go out and you don't know what people are going to say or how they're going to treat you. Just having a safe space for people to meet and talk to each other.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it just because it's a sense of like community with people who are like me, and I just get to like relate to.
Adding on to what they said, me and Ariel, we're from Brooklyn, so it's, like the difference in culture here was very shocking, and just having a community for us to be able to express ourselves and have similarities with other students, it's very comforting.
Tell me a little bit about this display. Who was most responsible for the display here?
Me, but we all had our parts in it, obviously. I kind of just went over and assign people where it's because we want to give them leadership opportunities and opportunities to have creative control. So we kind of were just hey, we had all the decades listed that we wanted to feature, and then we're hey, have 2 to 3 people sign up for each of them. So I know that we had many different people, but my main one that I focused on that I kind of was a part of is the 2010s.
Okay, let's go look at the 2010s.
And then
is that Kendrick Lamar there?
Yep, Kendrick Lamar, yes. And we also wanted to talk about black artists and musicians, but also other things that they do, because not only do they create music, they also create a sense of community. I talked a little bit Tyler the Creator. How not only did he influence music, is he also streetwear and just kind of how people dressed in general.
Yeah.
Where it's music it's not just music; it changes culture. So yeah, not only talking about things that they've done in music, but things that they other.
What's your favorite album by Tyler the Creator?
Tyler
because
the
I
Creator?
spoke with a student just the other day who was telling me about one I need to listen to.
Yeah, he has a lot of good ones. Some of my favorites, I would probably say Igor.
That's the same one they mentioned as Igor.
Igor.
No,
Okay.
I'm a bit of a untraditionalist, and my favorite by him is Cherry Bomb, which is the least favorite by everyone else, but
Okay.
I love it.
So I start with Igor, and I go to Cherry Bomb.
I would
so I
probably
get the
go
full
to Flower
range.
Boy before
Flower
Cherry
Boy.
Bomb.
It eases you into it because his music is very out there. So Flower Boy is a very
avant-garde or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe I need to listen to all of his stuff.
I mean,
that's what you're telling me.
Yes, and definitely even watching video, when I was doing research for it, watching video essays, I'm wow, there's it's a lot more depth to not only is he's telling a story, even in his first 3 albums / mixtapes, he told a story about someone where it's not just individual albums standing on their own, it's a whole story that comes together.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was mostly responsible for the 2000s, but I kind of like to talk about why we chose to do music as a whole. I mean, obviously for Black History Month, a lot of people focus on like a lot of the civil rights activists and a lot of the people who acted during slavery to help free the slaves, and that is an important thing, but we want to kind of fray away from that and show kind of the modern Black people. Some of the most influential people in our country have been these Black artists, and obviously in the modern day as a whole, like artists, musicians, and directors and influencers as a whole are some of the most important people responsible for like what we consume as a whole and what we see every day. So we thought it was pretty important for us to shine upon some of the most influential artists of, well, the past like 7 decades or so.
Sure.
I covered the 2000s. I'll be completely honest, I'm not necessarily like the biggest fan of all of these musicians. But, we got Rihanna, Lil Wayne, Mariah Carey, there's Kanye West, Beyonce. I mean, you can't not know their names.
There are some greats that came out of that era for sure.
Yeah.
Tell me about these other eras. What is your favorite era? 2000s is not? Tell me what's your preference.
Probably like 1000%, like either the 90s or the 2010s. I grew up in the 2010s, and all my favorite artists are from the 2010s. People like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, incredible musicians, and I grew up listening to them, and I was there for the release of some of the projects, so that was really cool.
Yeah, it means something different when you were there when they first came out.
Yeah.
It's different to listen to it when it's new. Speaking of which, I was listening to things that are new in the 80s. Mm-hmm. Any 80s music that you particularly like?
Well, yeah, like the start of hip-hop, people like Nas on the end of the 80s who are like pretty much set the wave for like rap. Also like a lot of R&B artists and like just a lot of influential things, and although I can't like name all of them, once I hear it, like it's just all comes back to me.
Sure. Is there something that surprised you about music or that you discovered by putting these displays together?
Definitely just like looking at like even though I really kind of focused on one, even just reading through a couple of them, I'm like, wow, there's just a lot of people that like I knew the names of, but I didn't know necessarily what they did, and learning more about them, I was like, oh, that's that putting a name to the face in like a career as well.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of insane how almost like the grand majority of the most influential artists across all of these decades were all Black musicians. They really paved the way and led the culture, and it's really cool.
What do you hope people take away from seeing this display?
Kind of just like acknowledgement too, where it's like kind of how he said is like a lot of prolific artists throughout the years are Black, and just like realizing Black culture and stuff, and their influence on the community as well.
Yeah, I would just say like acknowledgement and appreciation for like artists throughout the decades, and just like what they've done and the impact they've had.
Because this is a little more than the music, right? To just like kind of see past just the music and really see the people who made it. And
Great. We're here with the advisor for the Black Student Union. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how this got started.
My name is Vicki Codella, and we started the Black Student Union last year. We got started a little bit late in the year, but we have really taken off this year. We've done a trunk or treat in October. We did a fundraiser for our school-wide Hearts of Gold thing, and then we did our setup for the Black History Month walkthrough museum for the students, and we're just trying to be a big presence in the school and be of service, and also have a strong voice.
What impact do you want the club to have in Herriman High School?
The kids who are a part of it, I just love watching them blossom into having a voice and feeling confident in who they are, so that's been really pleasant, and also like showing up for the principal's roundtable and just having a strong presence in the school, which is nice. And I just hope that the kids that are not part of the club can see that and appreciate their efforts and who they are.
Well, thank you so much for everything you do. I know you're very active in supporting students in the BSU, so and thanks for taking time with us today.
Of course, thank you for coming.
Stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk more about the talented musicians and familiar tunes that made history, as well as some current recommendations from high school students in the know.
Hello, I'm Stacy Worthen, Secondary Counseling Specialist for Jordan School District. Do you know all the ways Jordan School District counselors can help you and your student? School counselors play such an important role in our schools. They provide parents with resources to help guide their children in academics. They provide support with the mental and social well-being of students in our schools. And if you are in the process of preparing a student for college or just beginning the conversation of higher education, now is the perfect time to reach out to your child's counselor. We can assist with college applications and college readiness. I encourage parents and guardians to schedule an appointment and get to know your student's counselor. Together, counselors and parents can help develop plans and strategies for students to succeed long after they leave Jordan School District. Reach out. We're always here to help. You can find us and learn more at counseling.jordandistrict.org.
Tell me your name.
I'm Brendan Schmidt.
Tell me about the 60s display here.
So this one is Ray Charles. That's the one I did personally. He's like one of the most influential singers. And another song, this is kind of from the 70s. One of my favorite songwriters and singers, Donny Hathaway. I sang one of his songs at our cultural assembly at our school.
Which one did you sing by Donny Hathaway?
It's called Love, Love, Love.
Yeah?
It's a little bit older. It's it meant a lot to me because he's like one of my favorite artists, and he puts a lot of feeling into his music. And even if he doesn't write it, he makes it his own music. Even if it's not his.
I love Donny Hathaway. Actually, I love his Christmas music too. What's the song?
This
Christmas. Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah,
that's great. Oh, since you chose to feature music for Black History Month, tell me who is your favorite? I know you were each assigned a decade. Tell me about your favorite recording artist. I'm a huge music fan, so you got to tell me the artist and you've got to tell me the album that I need to listen to from that artist, so you can expand my horizon a little bit.
Especially recently, Smino. He's one of my favorite guys to listen to.
Louisville, right?
Yeah, I've especially started listening to music more and more in the past couple of years, and just like he's been one of my artists that I've discovered recently that I just like.
Is he new? Was he part of a
He's been
a group
in the industry
previously?
for about like 10 years. He is a newer artist. That's when he like kind of started becoming popular. He is part of like the alternative R&B movement that like people like Frank Ocean led, but he kind of spearheaded and put it towards more of a bubbly kind of fun wave. Smino, incredible artist. I absolutely love him.
I just love so many of his songs where it doesn't necessarily all sound the same. Like he does a lot of different things and it all sounds great.
I would say my favorite artist is SZA because I used to listen to her a lot when I was a kid. And growing up in Brooklyn, we used to listen to her all the time. And now being in Utah, it's like so different. So listening to her reminds me of who I am and where I came from.
That's awesome. Now I saw SZA on the Grammys, and she's really taken off. Were you listening to her in the early days?
Yeah, I listened to her before anybody else knew her. I'm an original fan.
So what should I listen to first?
I would say Love Galore because my mom used to play it all the time.
My favorite artist is Quadeca, but I think a more relevant artist to talk about is one of my most influential musicians. His name is Sloslow Malone. Interesting person, but he makes masterpieces. I think his albums are like really experimental, and I like how they take elements of like old soul records, but as well as mixing it with like live instrumentation. He was previously in a jazz band called Standing on That Corner. And I like how he mixes bits and pieces from so many different eras to tell a story in the modern world. It's kind of scary music, definitely very experimental and not for the average listener.
Okay.
But if you're into weird stuff, you might like it.
Okay, great. Experimental for sure. What else?
My favorite artist right now, I've been listening to a lot more music as well recently, but my favorite artist right now is Lucky. My personal favorite album by him is probably his first one. I generally forgot about it. Right. But my favorite song is probably Count on Me Too, and I just like him because he's different from what a lot of people like now, and either that or Frank Ocean too. And Frank Ocean,
even though he hasn't dropped recently, he's still
5 years.
Even it's still music is still good.
Yeah, he is kind of an enigma.
My current favorite artist is it's Sleepy Hollow and Sheaf G. They're two people that grew up around the New York area.
Sleepy Hollow and Sleep G?
Sheep G.
Sheep G. Okay. Tell me about them.
They're just two people that grew up around in New York. They just grew up together. I listen to their music a lot. I like it.
And are they taking off?
Yeah.
Can I find their stuff to stream?
Oh, 100%.
Is there a particular album or mixtape?
The newest one that I found is From the Can by Sheep G. And the
Okay.
other one from Sleepy is, I don't remember the album name, but he just recently dropped a few new music.
I'm going to have to do a follow-up with you guys after I've listened to all this stuff. Well, it's been a real pleasure talking to all of you. Good luck with all of the remaining BSU activities this year, and great job on the display. It's awesome talking music with you. And like I said, I'm going to go back and download all these on Tidal and get listening. So,
Sweet.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for putting us in the spotlight. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Supercast. Remember, education is the most important thing you'll do today. We'll see you out there.